Morning and good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world, LFC fans. On a lovely autumnal day today, post-match review of Liverpool's great win against Brighton 3-2 on the Carabao Cup. Fantastic. As expected, Liverpool made changes to the squad. We would have expected that as Arne Slot now tries to manage the team's playing minutes to ensure that we have the players for longer and to also get through this little injury bump that we have and keep the players fresh for what will hopefully be quite a long, demanding and successful season. So the squad yesterday was Jaros in goal. I did sort of have an inkling. I didn't know for sure that will happen, but I suppose it's pleasant to see that we've got three really good keepers. Jaros is again another keeper who potentially going to need playing time and will be the number one somewhere. Kelleher, we know what Kelleher does, but I feel it's an opportunity with Alisson rested and not trying to rush him back as well when he gets fit again to give Kelleher more the league and let Jaros keep ticking over with the cup games. So Jaros, Robbo as a captain. Again, I've raised my concerns about Robbo in terms of his fitness. It's even just say fitness. It's just the form, awareness, speed, just confidence. It's just not there, and we got to be honest about it. But he started. I was surprised. Gomez, which again, much minutes needed for Gomez. Kwanzaa. Then we had Bradley on the right hand side, so Trent was given a rest. Then we had in the midfield Endo, Morton, Jones, with Gakpo on the left, false 9 role for Szoboszlai, and Diaz on the right hand side, and Salah given not starting the team. So everyone knows Brighton is a difficult team. This season so far, Brighton have not been beaten at home. So recognise the fact a 3-2 win against Brighton is nothing to scoff at. They're a very difficult team. They'll beat many teams. They'll give many good teams a bloody nose. And we've got away from there with a 3-2 win. Excellent. That's where now we look at the teams and look at how we performed. So whenever you make these changes, you're always going to expect that play is going to be a bit rusty, because they haven't been getting minutes apart from the training field. They're not going to be as sharp as it would be, etc. Totally, that's what you expect. And also, that combination of players together may not necessarily play together so often. So you're not going to get necessarily, ready to go, energized, connectivity, etc., etc. And I think we saw a bit of that. So initially, I thought I'd say slow start. Brighton were looking quite good initially, and then Liverpool just sort of then started taking a bit of control. Now, what I would expect, and I did see that, was that lack of cohesion. So I found that Endo in midfield, and I've been on some forums where I've expressed that I felt Endo should have come off in the first half and not seen the second half and look, I'm a very big supporter of Endo. I really feel sorry for him in terms of what's happened, i.e. Klopp going, a new manager who had a different philosophy in terms of football. But Endo is not that guy for us, and it showed. His touch was not great. His passing was not great. His tackling was a struggle, not great. His awareness was poor. He was losing the ball just outside our box. He got a yellow card, typical Endo yellow card in the game. Totally bad timing. He struggled. And when you've got an anchor role in midfield for Liverpool, as Gravenberch does, it's so important that that's the cog that connects everything together. And you can see we're so disjointed because Endo wasn't able to do what is being required for him to do. And that's something that obviously will have to be addressed at some point, but there's no point sort of mincing words. He was poor. And I was quite forthright in saying that Endo shouldn't have been continuing. Not because I want to be critical, Endo, it's just a fact. And look, we can accept players to be rusty, etc., etc. Players can be rusty, but there's some fundamentals that need to be done. And he was struggling with the fundamentals. He put his boots on, he put his socks on, he put his kit on, and he came on the pitch. But apart from that, he didn't do much. And that, I hate to say that because I like the guy so much, but, it's honesty. So, we look at the game. Jaros had a pretty good game. Jaros, great save in the game. Fantastic. He was going one way, had to do a dive-in save. But Jaros really showed that he's ready to be a number one somewhere. He's got a stature of a goalkeeper, of a top goalkeeper, sorry. And his ball play was pretty good. He seemed to be confident enough on the ball receiving for the defenders. His distribution was pretty good, generally finding his man most of the time. So well done, Jaros. Really, really, really well done. Bradley did okay. Bradley kind of struggled when later on Mitoma came on and there was two sort of playing against him, but Mitoma ran up against him quite a bit. And some of them, Bradley held his own. And some of them, Mitoma showed the class he is, and we expect that. He's a class player. He was Brighton's best player when he came on. And he made that difference where they started pushing Liverpool back and they were really attacking Bradley's side. And he had a real difficult challenge to keep him at bay. Kwanzaa, apart from the goal, so in the game, Kwanzaa makes a poor pass. Now the problem is, I'm just trying to remember if this season or last season, Kwanzaa did almost the same kind of thing. That kind of lazy pass where he actually's got more options to his right, but then he chooses to pass it to the left, going back towards the goal, and then cause a problem. So Kwanzaa's pass leads to the goal, and that's, it is what it is. He will learn, but he needs to learn. And then later on, Kwanzaa coming out, his feet is all wrong. The ball deflects sort of through his legs, hit his ankle, and makes Jaros go the wrong way, where he would have saved it, and he was taken off in the second half. He'll learn. It's a learning curve. Apart from that, 2 duels won out of 2. Passing was fine. He had a decent game. But those 2 mistakes can get you ahead, and hopefully he'll reflect and actually just think, okay, it happens. He's only a young lad. I mean, Virgil's playing, I think, sort of Dutch lower leagues at this kind of time at his age. So he'll come good. Gomez, I thought Gomez did pretty well in the game. I think Gomez was authoritative. Initially, it was a bit cagey, a bit awkward with a passing the ball back to the keeper and from the press. However, he seemed to grow into it. As you expect to see a player that's kind of rusty, not been playing, not a lot of game time, but he got more confident and felt more confident Gomez playing. Robbo, still concerns. His players get past him too easy. First half, he didn't have too much problems. The second half, it was a bit of a challenge for him. And really, at the moment, it's just an ongoing concern with Robbo. Can he get himself out of this, or is this going to be a constant decline? We know the marauding Robbo, it's not going to be that guy anymore. But in the first half, Robbo was overlapping and marauding up and playing a lot more attackingly. My concern is when Robbo gets the ball, we know he's very left-footed. And sometimes we need him to at least distribute that ball with the right foot if he can, because then what you always find is that he then goes back towards the defender, back towards the goalkeeper. So when we're moving forward, if there's angles being blocked, he's always having to check back on his left and play the ball back, rather than be able to open up and create the angle to pass the ball and keep moving more smoothly. It's just, I don't know if it's a confident thing, but a few times his attacker was getting past him, and then when the Dingwa came on, he was attacking him. Laverty was attacking on that side. He's just not as authoritative as we would expect it to be. Hopefully he'll work himself out of this, but again, it wasn't a great game for Robbo. I wouldn't have been scoring him high. Endo, I thought mentioned. I don't want to, keep on. Endo didn't have a good game, as far as I'm concerned. Others, and I'm sympathetic to Endo. I'm not trying to really critical on him. It's just a reflection of the fact that he didn't have the game, and to the levels that we're expecting, it's got to be better. Simple as that. Jones had a steady game first half. Team struggled a little bit, but Jones came more into his own in the second half, and he was always available, high pressing, midfield defensively, connecting with the passing. Jones played pretty well. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with Jones. Morton did really well. Again, think about a player who's really been playing on the 21s. Morton shows he has a future. Whether that future is going to be a Liverpool first team, I think that's another conversation. But in terms of a player who can actually do well defensively in midfield, connect to play, is always available, always an option, has good passing range, then he's your guy. Gakpo, what can we say? Gakpo, really, really excellent. He just looks so strong. He has now scored all his goals in the Carabao Cup. 2 goals today. 2 goals yesterday, sorry. So first one on the 46th minute, as we came back in the second half, almost a minute in. Great finish. Great finish. And it's what I call a signature Gakpo goal. It's a signature Gakpo goal where he just cuts in from left-hand side to get it to his right foot, opens up and really bends it into the far corner. Normally, when it goes in, keeper's got no chance. And he had no chance. Really good play. Second goal later on was a near post finish by Gakpo, but again, just really good finish, really clean striking the ball. And I hope Gakpo just keeps getting the confidence from it, because I think at the moment now he's going to potentially really challenge Diaz in terms of the starting place in the team, because he's delivering. It's all about delivering. Start of the season, Diaz was the one delivering. Now Gakpo is the one delivering. And I would like to see him start for the game against Brighton. But that'll be on another podcast. I'll talk about that. Szoboszlai. So Szoboszlai did really well. Szoboszlai is not a false 9. But what he does do, he presses well, he closes down well, he stretches the defenders and can knit with the midfield. So, overall, I thought Szoboszlai did well. With the one that the chance that he had, which was the ball from Gakpo, which bounced up, and he had to then control it, and by that time the keeper's on him. It was on target, keeper saved it. He's getting highly criticised, but I think it's unlucky. The pass could have been better from Gakpo, and I think then he would have been in a better position to actually finish it first time cleaner, rather than having to take a touch and then shoot on target. Keeper saved it. Unlucky, and you could see he was frustrated, because you really, it's an opportunity to get that goal, get a few people off his back, etc. But overall, I thought Szoboszlai did well. Diaz had one of those Diaz games sometimes where he often is puffed, but things weren't working well. He was losing the ball. He wasn't getting past his man. I can't count. Don't think he really got past his man most times in the game. Defensively, he was supporting, as he does. We know he always puts a lot of effort in, but not one of Diaz's best games. However, Diaz then did get a good goal on the 85th minute. Again, really near post finish. Well done. He's got to be available to score it, and he did so. So, and Diaz has been scoring consistently for us this season. So again, we can't complain. It's good to have those options. It's really good. So with the game with Brighton, it was more in control Liverpool. However, I always felt that we were gonna be challenged. There was a few shots on Brighton, saved by Yaros, and like I said, the diving save, fantastic from the header. But then the mistakes happened, and then that kept Brighton sort of keeping us concerned and worried in terms of the fact that will they get another goal to make it 3. So obviously Adingo scored a goal 81st minute, just sort of knocks it in after a save by Yaros, and then 90th minute Lamptey, and that was a deflection. So Brighton are a good team, and they've got a really good coach, so you'd expect that. And I said Mitoma and Welbeck coming on, we could see potentially what we're going to face when we have Brighton at Anfield. But the win's the win. To sort of manage the game, what we then saw was we saw McAllister come on, we saw Salah come on, we saw Nunes come on, we saw Konate come on. Hope I haven't missed anyone. Don't think Tsimikas came on. So those were the various changes. Gakpo's disappointed to not get a hat trick. You can see it, but then you know what? He's very professional. Took it on, and I think that him coming off really means that he will be starting against Brighton. I would be surprised he didn't. But good win, 3-2 against a very, very good Brighton team who play some really good football and who were a challenge and a threat. But actually, I think overall we did manage them well. It's just at times we created our own little issues. But my only issue was in terms of that midfield connectivity was not there. And that's really because Endo was at the base and he wasn't delivering it. It's as simple as that. It's not the only one, but his performance really shone out the most out of everyone in terms of the negative. Salah didn't get much chance to do much, and nor did Nunes. I kind of feel like they should have been given a rest. Konate coming on is understandable. With Konsa's mental state at the time, he looked like a guy that felt, oh shit, anything I'm going to do now, I'm going to struggle. And so, some people think he's doing him a disservice by taking him off. Actually, I think the coach did him a favour, because if he didn't take him off, it probably would have been a situation where we'd have conceded. And so it's important that we didn't. So well done. And well done, Slot. Another win. A winner get first team to beat Brighton at home this season. And great news, or let's not say too early, I suppose, but we have got Southampton away. So in the next round, in the quarterfinal. So excellent. So hopefully we're to go to Southampton and get a result. But please let me know your views. Let me know what your opinions were. Let me know if I've been too harsh on Endo. Let me know if you feel that Endo had a great game. Let me know what you feel positively he did. Let me know what you feel other players did and how they performed. Give them a rating. Just like and subscribe and click on notifications and let me know your opinion. Speak to you soon.